I'd say it's more equivalent of a hand job.
I mean, it depends on which Muppet.
How?
Well, I mean, if it's like Big Bird or something, I don't know if a hand is running his whole thing.
Is Big Bird considered a Muppet, though?
Yeah,
No, Big Bird is a sesame.
yeah, but those are Jim Henson's Muppets.
All right. welcome,
They've
welcome,
been in one of the
welcome.
Muppet movies.
welcome, everyone. Welcome back to Hard Reset, Cold North Production. I'm your host, Patrick the Law Morris. Joining me this week, we have gorgeous Ben Reynolds
Meow.
and the tenacious Tim Miller.
Why, hello there.
Coming up on Hard Reset number 99, we're going to be talking about the a pretty big act of kindness from Nintendo, a class action lawsuit about a controller, and a couple new Nintendo Switch models. And for the topic of the show, we'll be talking about what games we would wipe from our memories to be able to play for the first time again. But before we do that, before we get to that, I want to hear what you guys have been playing in the last couple of weeks, because it's been a couple of weeks since we've convened. So, Ben, why don't you tell me what you've been playing this week?
2K 2019 hard.
When does the new one come out?
Like probably September.
Okay. So still a ways away.
Yep.
That's a game that typically lasts you all year.
Yeah, especially because we've started playing in like the park, the neighborhood park where you play online together.
Yeah.
And it's pretty fun.
Yeah. It occurred to me because I bought Live 08 and then I didn't buy another NBA game until 2K14. And it occurred to me that I am due to buy an NBA game this year. But
Fair enough.
Because it's been another 6 years.
Yeah,
It makes
it's
sense.
been another 6 years. And it amazes me because it felt like so much happened between 08 and 14. And now it feels like 14 to 20 just flew by. And it's just kind of bumming me out. But I don't think I'm going to buy it because I don't have anyone here to play with.
Yeah, but
called-
you could play online with us in the neighborhood.
Are you going to buy it on PlayStation or Xbox?
Xbox. Because then Billy and I only have to buy one copy.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, maybe I'll buy it. Maybe I'll buy it. Anything you're really looking forward to with coming up? Because I know that you expressed you were feeling like kind of a drought of games.
Not really. I don't know. I mean, just the fall and there being more games.
The fall's going to be pretty packed. Are you?
Yeah,
Are you going to buy Control?
probably. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm really psyched on that one.
Yeah. I could certainly see myself playing it.
If you buy it on PlayStation, Tim will be able to play it too. Boom! You guys
It's
could
true.
split it.
I don't even know what it is.
It's like 3D Metroidvania from Remedy. The
Ooh. You don't
yeah.
need to say any more. I'm hooked.
Tim's
I
in,
love Metroidvanias.
and it's Remedy. Ben's slurping the foam from a beer.
Delicious.
Because there was foam.
All right, Tim, what have you been playing this week?
Oh, God. So I've been playing a lot of Smash Bros. This week. I've been getting more into the competitive scene. A friend of mine, Anthony, has been helping me out, learning all the really important, really wouldn't see if you're playing casually. So it's been interesting. It's been a lot of fun.
Okay, who are you maining as competitive?
Roy, currently.
Roy.
Yep.
I read in the Smash Bros subreddit all this shit about Little Mac. Everyone's like, "Oh, Little Mac mains, poor Little Mac mains," and it's like, I love Little Mac.
Hey, he's great until you get him in the air, and then like, a wet blanket.
Yeah, he's pretty tough once he's airborne.
Yeah.
Sinks like a rock.
Not to mention his up B is terrible.
No way. His up B is pretty boss.
It goes straight up. Like,
He
I'm
rinks
sorry.
like a sock.
Yeah.
Ranks like a sock. All right.
Yeah, I gotta go with Ben on this one.
Well, I have personally been playing some. Well, Tim, you and I have actually played all the way through Gears 3.
We have.
And that one, I think it was my favorite of the first three.
It's a good choice.
Yeah,
Definitely a good one.
it was a lot of fun. I think that it took what worked in the first game and what worked in the second game and combined them and made it work. Like, took what didn't work in the first two games and left all of that out.
Agreed. Didn't have to deal with the shitty driving sections of the first game and even the second game even. And they just put you on rails for that, which was nice. Not to mention, the game is a lot brighter, I will say. And I think that's one of the things that made me like it a bit more. Because I could actually see what I was shooting at.
Yeah, much more colorful. So I really enjoyed it, and I thought that it was a ton of fun. So, but now it's time for the news at now.
Play the button.
All right.
The news show. It's the news show. We are now a news show, so we bring you news.
All right. So, news at now. In a really awesome promotional stunt in the lead up to San Diego Comic-Con, Nintendo gifted a Nintendo Switch with Mario Maker 2 to every passenger on a Southwest Airlines flight. Now, Tim, you posted this in the chat.
Yep.
So give us your take on this.
I think it's freaking amazing. I kind of wish I'd been on that plane because I would love another Switch. But
Yeah.
How many of those people on that flight do you think already had Switches? It's like just the rich get richer.
I'm
They're
guessing
already going to fucking Comic-Con.
I'm guessing a few of them probably did, but I think what's funny is maybe that one or two older couples, like grandparents, that just have Switches now and have no reason to use them.
Give them to their grandkids.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually fair.
I pre-ordered the purple and yellow Joy-Cons.
Oh, really?
It's technically
Nice.
purple and orange, I guess it says, but yeah.
So I haven't taken a good look at all the colors. I know that you can't buy them in pairs of the same color, which is odd. But yeah, no, I haven't taken a look at all the colors, but I don't know, I'm psyched on that, but we're going to get to that in a few minutes. I know that this is just a publicity stunt, but I'm really okay with like companies doing this sort of stuff where it's like it's really just a nice thing to do, and they're not like screaming it from the rooftops.
Doing it to like the poor people who are riding on subways. Why do it to fucking rich people on an airplane?
Not everyone on an airplane is rich, Ben.
I don't know, man.
But you're right. I mean, I think that's I think really, Ben, you do make a point of like not necessarily like the rich get richer, but more of like this is the kind of publicity stunt that I can get on board with because it's so pro consumer. It's so like just a nice thing for the community. And so just going out and giving away a ton of Switches and then not making a big deal out of it, letting the word of mouth spread is, I think, a classy way of marketing. So I wish I was on
it didn't
that
make
flight.
me want to play Mario Maker anymore.
Yeah, me neither. Tim, what about...
I already have Mario Maker, so I can't say shit. I've been playing the shit out of it.
Yeah. How is it?
I mean, I like it. I played the first one as well. I sunk a lot of hours into it. Definitely added a lot more this time. It's basically an improved quality of life Mario Maker over the first. So if you enjoyed the first one and you want a lot of extra features, go for the second one. If Mario isn't your thing, then I definitely would suggest avoiding it until it comes down in price.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Is there enough content to satisfy someone who's not going to make any levels?
Oh yes, there are thousands upon thousands of user-made levels out there already. All you need to do is just go into the course world, and you can look at the most popular created. Also, so much available to you.
All right. Yeah.
Plus, they
You
also
mentioned
have...
something about a story, though.
Yep, there is actually a story mode. There seems to be like rough about 50 to 100 levels. I haven't really mapped it all out yet, but there's a significant chunk. So.
Yeah, I've heard that it is a good sized single player Mario game in this creative suite.
Yep.
So,
and the nice thing is they give you access to some of the creator tools inside the campaign. So if you get like stuck or if it's too tough, boom, you can go into creative mode, drop a flower in for you if you need a little bit of extra health, add a few blocks here and there.
Oh, really? So you can do that even for, you can do that for like the story levels?
Yep. It's not as comprehensive with the story levels, like you're really restricted to what you can do. But it's enough that you can help yourself out with it.
All right. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, so I mean, this is marketing that I'm really okay with. So I'm into it. I think it's really nice. It's a good acknowledgement for the it's a good acknowledgement for the community, I think. So, it's not all sunshine and rainbows for Nintendo, though. A class action lawsuit is being filed against Nintendo based off the Joy-Con drift that has been experienced by many users since launch of the Nintendo Switch. The problem occurs when joysticks on the Joy-Cons register an input without actually being moved. The lawsuit is rooted in the argument that the problem is prevalent enough that Nintendo is knowingly selling a defective product. When contacted for comment, Nintendo directed IGN to their support page for users experiencing hardware failures. So, first of all, since it seems to be a very widespread issue, have either of you guys experienced the Joy-Con drift?
Not once, and I've had my Switch since launch.
Ben?
No.
I haven't either. So, I mean, maybe we're all lucky, but we all own a bunch of Joy-Cons, I think.
I own 3 different pairs. So
I own 2 pairs.
I own 1 pair.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I mean, 6 pairs is not insignificant.
Nope.
But apparently it is a pretty widespread issue. So Ben, you were talking about the new Joy-Cons earlier, and I actually wanted to discuss that now because we can talk about how psyched we are for the new Joy-Cons as well. But I suspect, and this is just my theory, I suspect that Nintendo has taken a look at the cost of acknowledging that the Joy-Cons are defective and then offering a formal recall, hey, send it in, we'll fix it program. And they've looked at the cost of the bad marketing and the possible lawsuit and just said, we'll just fix them as they come in. And here's brand new Joy-Cons that don't have the problem. That's my thought, is that they've resolved the issue internally and they're just going to start selling fixed Joy-Cons or like new Joy-Cons that don't have the problem until this is like they've just weeded out all the old Joy-Cons.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, I can certainly see them trying to do so, especially with the new ones that have come out. Hopefully they have addressed and fixed said drift issue. But I don't know, like not having experienced any of the drift issues myself, I really can't say like how bad it is. I mean, yeah, we've had reports. Yes, there's a class action lawsuit now, but I mean, without experiencing it myself, I kind of have my doubts. So
Yeah.
I'm still excited for the new ones though. Like the purple and orange one, like I'm gonna jump on immediately.
I honestly might even just buy both of the new ones, and that way then I could have orange and blue, have Broncos switch.
Yep.
Broncos switch. Yeah. I mean, Tim, you could get the Mario one and the blue and yellow ones, and you could have a Patriots switch.
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you though.
I really like, so I'm looking at the new colors, and this is the first time I'm actually like really looking at them. I love that purple one. I wish I could buy the
Absolutely.
purple one in a pair. And
Yeah.
I really like the yellow one, but it's very similar to the yellow that they made previously.
It looks the
I
same.
think
Actually,
that purple was available as a Japanese exclusive as a pair, maybe.
Oh, really? That's pretty interesting. So I'm still a little bit bewildered because it feels a little bit tone deaf for Nintendo to be announcing these new colored Joy-Cons and not addressing the just massive demand for retro themed Joy-Cons. So like GameCube themed Joy-Cons or Atomic Purple Joy-Cons, or you know what I'm saying? Like Game Boy themed Joy-Cons, that sort of thing.
give me something translucent, damn it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
Would you
Have you guys heard of these grip controllers?
wait, which ones?
Where it's like literally like a controller cut in half.
You're
Oh,
talking about
yeah.
the Hori grip.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have seen that.
Yeah, it looks freaking like a tank, but it looks pretty good.
It
And
looks
Hori-
so stupid.
I
Or-
mean, if you were gonna to play though, it would probably feel the best for playing it, and your hand because if I try and play it mobile for too long, my hands start to cramp. But I
definitely
also
could reduce it.
have some issues with like my hands because of football.
Yeah, so I have actually, and this is probably a pretty unpopular opinion, but I think that reducing weight over favoring classic ergonomics, I think for a handheld is a better choice, because for a handheld, it's like very specifically you don't hold it the same way you hold a controller, right? When you hold a controller, you hold it in your lap. It's very much the bottom is facing down, or the back of the controller is facing down, and it fits into your palms very easily. Whereas when I'm playing my Switch handheld, I'm usually holding it straight up and down, which I'm almost never holding my controller that way. And so I think that a classical ergonomic shape for a controller, in my opinion, doesn't translate well to a handheld console because I hold it differently, because I play it differently. And so anytime I get that sort of handle thing going, it's just like it doesn't really work for a handheld for me.
Fair enough.
And those things are ugly. But what do you guys think is gonna? I mean, just guesses or predictions. What do you think? Do you think anything really major is gonna come from this class action lawsuit?
Probably not. I mean, Nintendo's got so much money, it doesn't even matter. I'm sure, like, if people complain enough, yes, they're going to try and fix the problem. They probably have been trying to fix the problem, but considering how much product they already have out in the market, it's kind of hard to recall everything they already have out without testing, like, the new iteration fully. So,
Yeah.
like, I could see it taking quite a while to fix, but
Yeah, no doubt about that. And plus, I think that like if we look back historically at like the major, like the class action lawsuits that have happened previously in the video game industry, they end up being such a drop in the bucket. Like you said, Tim, that Nintendo has so much money. But like, look at so remember when Sony had that major security breach in 2010, I think, and there was like the PlayStation Network was down for like 20 some days because they just lost millions of passwords. And
Yeah.
what came of that? They basically gave away a game to each person. And it was like, great. And then there was also Sony had a similar thing with the PlayStation 3 as far as like when they originally sold it, they did sell it as like some marketing or some features listed it as like you can install Linux on the PlayStation 3. And then they patched out that capability, and then people got really upset because they were basically like hindering and stymieing capabilities of the console that they had already advertised on. And there was a class action lawsuit over that. People were upset that they couldn't install Linux on their PS3 anymore. And suddenly people, that wound up being like, if you could provide proof of purchase and a serial number for the fat PlayStation 3 that you bought in like 2006, it was like, yeah, they'll write you a check for $50. And it's like, nobody's going to go try and dig that shit up for $50, right? So I think this is going to end up being such a non-starter, it won't even show up on the radar is my thing.
Yeah, I hadn't even heard of it until today, so.
Exactly. So, I don't know. We'll see how this turns out. I bet it will be something that will really just get swept under the rug and not many people will cash in on it, but maybe it'll become something. Who knows? But we do have more Switch news to discuss. It's just a Nintendo news show today. Nintendo has announced 2 new Switch consoles. So the morning after our last podcast, of course, Nintendo announced via a online informational video the Nintendo Switch Lite. Now, just a quick rundown before I get your thoughts on the Switch Lite. The Switch Lite will feature a smaller screen, 5.5 inches versus the Switch's 6.2 inches, an all-in-one design with no detachable controllers, a longer battery life than the current standard Switch at roughly 30% longer, traditional D-pad on under the left joystick, 3 different colors at launch will be gray, yellow, and turquoise, $199 price tag, no docking capability, and it will all be available on September 20th. What are your guys' thoughts on this?
It's cool. But puts more Switches in more people's hands.
Who do you guys think this is for?
I think it's for the kids mainly for parents that want their kids to have a Switch but don't want to shell out the $300
Yeah.
For it. I think it's mainly going to be replacing the 3DS as their main way.
This is a handheld.
Yep, well, and it's notably coming out 2 months before Pokemon.
Yes. That's, I think, the biggest thing, Ben. And that was the observation you made when we were discussing this not on the podcast, is like, this is straight up a Pokemon machine.
Yeah.
Well,
and
they're releasing a Pokemon themed one for it.
Yeah, so. Exactly. By the way, Tim, which Pokemon game are you getting?
I think I'm going to be going with the Sword. And the main reason is because I like the legendary. He's holding a sword in his mouth. He reminds me of Rapide from Tales of Vesperia, and that I like. So that's pretty much my only reasoning right now.
All right. I'm also getting Sword, but that's just because Ben wanted Shield, so.
Fair enough.
But, so do you guys think that this thing is going to sell like gangbusters the way the Switch has? Or do you think that maybe it'll come out and not face as much demand as previously thought?
I don't think.
Go ahead, Tim.
I don't think it'll have a huge initial impact, but by the time the holidays come around, I feel like it'll become a huge commodity.
Yeah, I think. I mean, it's like Tim said, it's going to replace your 3DS. So, I think that you're going to see kids have these a lot more.
Yeah, which I was kind of thinking about I think the biggest mistakes that Nintendo made with the Wii U is they marketed it at children so hard. But then with the Switch, from the moment they announced the Switch, they marketed it at young adults, like 20-something, like adults, right?
Well,
Oh,
they were
yeah.
kind of like, hey, you guys, remember that thing you loved, the Wii? Well, this is kind of its predecessor.
Right. This is kind of its successor, is like, it's kind of the real follow-up to
Or
the
yeah,
Wii.
not predecessor, successor. Excuse me.
And I am surprised with the Switch Lite that they haven't leaned more into marketing it directly at children.
Yeah, well,
I
I
haven't
mean,
even really seen it marketed yet, so
Well,
other,
other than like promotional videos is the stuff that I've seen for marketing. And Tim, I think that's what you were going to say.
yeah, exactly. Like aside from a few things online, I haven't seen much of anything.
Right. And I think that the slam dunk marketing wise for the Switch Lite is to show a kid playing their Switch Lite with their dad or their brother, or, you know, an older person playing on, while the older person plays on the TV, the kid sits there and plays with them on their Switch Lite. And that's,
or even you could have them playing like with, well, I guess you can't play split screen with two people on Mario Kart, can you? Like split
do you
screen online, like you can't have two people playing online on the same Switch.
I don't know.
Current.
I haven't even tried.
I think you can, but don't quote me on it. It's been ages since I've booted that up.
But so then you could potentially have like 4 people playing on one
Yeah. And
Switch, and then one person playing on
yeah, like show like 4
Switch
people
Lite,
playing on one
so
Switch.
that there's 5 people all taking part in like a Grand Prix or something.
Yeah. And that's something that like I feel like show the kids with the Switch Lite, because I think ultimately, even though I'm absolutely buying one, I think that ultimately that is who this is going to be marketed at.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
This is a Switch for kids. This is like I mean, family reunions and like Christmas and shit for families that have, you know, kids in them. Previously, you show up and it's like the kids are playing their 2DS or their 3DS, but now that this is showing up, like when you show up at those family gatherings, it's going to be, and I don't think that any of us have like kids that age in our families, but like I think that when you show up, kids are gonna be showing up with Switch Lites instead of the 3DS.
So I have one question.
Yeah.
And that is, does it support gigabit Wi-Fi?
The Switch Lite?
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably not.
Because the current Switch already sucks at Wi-Fi.
Yeah. And the Switch Lite absolutely can't do a hardline connection, which the Switch can. You need an adapter, but it can.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. It can.
Tim, I'm reading the article. So Tim is sending me an update to the Joy-Con drift thing that is formally acknowledging that Nintendo will be fixing Joy-Cons that are sent to them, which they have been doing for a long time. Like my Joy-Con broke. It wasn't the drifting, but it wouldn't stay locked into the Switch. And you can send it in and they'll just repair it and send it back to you for free. But and I think that that's kind of their plan, is they just want you to send it in, and then they'll just slowly work it down to like, okay, there just aren't any Joy-Cons that do the drift thing anymore.
Like the red ring of death.
Exactly. Like there are still original 360s out there that work.
I've got one.
Oh, yours still works?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Well, at least I haven't tried it in
A
couple
while.
years, but the last
Yeah.
time I tried it, it did.
Yeah. But no, Tim, that's actually a good find. It's good that they're like acknowledging that they'll still do that.
Oh, absolutely. So they're actually making an effort to try and fix this, which honestly will help in their favor in the in the lawsuit. So.
Yeah, definitely. I think they need to be more forward about publicizing, like, hey, if it's broken, just send it to us. We'll fix it. Like, we're not admitting to anything, but like, we'll absolutely fix it.
Yep.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Coming back to the Switch Lite though. So do you guys think you're gonna get one?
Not right away.
Not right away. If you're getting one, it's gonna make me carry my Switch around in my backpack more once Pokemon comes out, because I don't want you to be playing that much more than me.
You don't want me to be training my Pokemon harder than you are.
Well, especially, I hope you're not gonna just be a little bitch and take all your Pokemon from old games and put them in that one.
Well, that's going to be pretty tough to do. Like we discussed a couple of weeks ago, and you made a very good point of like, just fucking play the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I don't think I'm going to do. I think I'm just going to play the game.
Good man.
Yep.
But I might bring Fennekin over. But, you know, that maybe Ho-Oh, maybe Blastoise. I might bring them all over. I don't know. I haven't decided.
Bitch made.
Okay. But I think I'm going to buy one at launch. Not even think. I'm going to buy one at launch. I already
What
bought.
color? Turquoise?
I wanted to do turquoise because I bought the turquoise Game Boy Color when I was a kid. But yellow is my favorite color. And Jillian wants the turquoise one.
Are you gonna put two electrical tape stripes on it?
Yeah, that's badass.
Nice.
So I think I'll probably do the yellow one.
If you don't do that, I'm gonna do it for you.
Okay. So I think I'll probably do the yellow one. And on Prime Day, I was able to get a 400 gig micro SD for $45. So I'm ready, baby. My body is ready.
What game are you going to play on it first?
Link's Awakening.
When does that come out again?
Same day.
Same day.
Oh, sweet.
So I am going to...
Which is September?
September 20th.
Damn, so I won't get to use my new fucking Joy-Cons on it, on Link's Awakening.
When do those come out?
October.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? As long as we're talking about a Nintendo release date, real quick, and this is just calling an audible here. Let's throw this in. Luigi's Mansion got a release date. It's not it's kind of what we expected, but I said I guarantee that game comes out before Halloween, and I'm wrong because it comes out on Halloween. So
makes sense.
That's a bold move, and I like it.
Do you like it though? Because I feel like that's a missed opportunity.
What day of the week is Halloween this year?
Thursday.
I don't understand how that's a missed opportunity.
So think about it this way. November 1st, like October, especially late October, it's like super fun and like spooky. November 1st, it is over. Like all the spooks, everything about that, it is over.
Yeah. But you have a whole weekend to play Luigi's Mansion.
But like you're just out of the spooky mood. Like on November 1st, you're out of the spooky mood, and I wanted to play this game
because I'm gonna be playing Luigi's Mansion.
Exactly, it's gonna keep you in the spooky mood. It's gonna keep that ball rolling.
I think that it
have
would
you
have
ever
been
heard
better.
of The Nightmare Before Christmas, Patrick?
I have.
What do you consider that, a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie?
I don't know. I haven't watched it all the way through since I was a child.
See, the best answer is both.
Both. Just is that so? You offered me an A or B, and really the correct answer was the secret C.
Exactly.
Answer's always C.
Well, no. So I think that maybe they should have released this maybe like 2 weeks before the end of October, or maybe even 1 week before the end of October.
Yeah, but What? What? I think if they, then everybody'd be like, "Oh, why didn't you guys release Luigi's Mansion themed Joy-Con at the same time as you released Luigi's Mansion and all these other Joy-Cons?"
Yeah, that's a good point. But don't
Plus,
you think they're going to get that anyways?
No,
Okay.
because technically, they've already got the green Joy-Cons out. Yes, they were first originally Splatoon, but I don't think they're gonna go specifically for like a Luigi brand, green blue. I really don't see that happening. They already had their year of Luigi. They're not gonna have a second year of Luigi anytime soon.
And the year of Luigi
And
did not
we
go
all know
well.
Luigi's got a big dong.
What?
Don't you remember from Mario Tennis?
No.
Luigi's packing.
Yes, they determined like, yeah, I remember this from a couple years ago.
All right. You guys want to enlighten me, or should we move on?
So there was this photo, and of Luigi.
And they drew a
That
dong
was, I
on
guess,
it.
essentially, they gave him a package, and it was a pretty sizable one. I don't remember like all the metrics, but it was like 5.5 inches flaccid or something like that.
Jesus.
But yeah, absolute utter ridiculousness.
Mario Tennis, Luigi penis. I'm Googling. Nintendo has revealed Luigi's penis, the Daily Dot.
There you go.
The true news, bringing it back.
Yeah, apparently. So okay, getting back to the Switch, they've also revealed a new standard Switch or an enhanced standard Switch. I don't know, coming out in August. It's not going to be drastically different, but it will feature a more power efficient system on a chip. The new SoC will yield almost 100% more battery life, ranging from 6 to 9 hours, depending on what game you're playing. The new Switch will be replacing the current standard Switch at the same $299 price point sometime in August.
Are you gonna buy one of those?
I am not. Now, there isn't much different here, but a lot of people are saying that this new standard Switch is almost cutting the knees out from under the Switch Lite before it's even gotten the chance to hit the market. Because people are saying, well, a pair of Joy-Cons is $80, which means you're paying a $20 premium for this Switch that has like twice as good battery life and a bigger screen and docks to a TV and comes with a dock.
I don't know.
I mean, I could see where they're coming from, but you've still got that niche of people that want something that's just purely handheld, and that's what the Switch Lite is meant to be. You're still going to get those people who are going to get that anyways. So,
yeah. And I mean, I'm one of those people. And being one of those people, I definitely value the fact that the Switch Lite is going to be smaller. Like that's the big selling point for me. So, so yeah, I don't know. Do you guys like? You guys aren't gonna. Obviously, you're not gonna buy another Switch just to get this better one, right?
I'm personally thinking about trading my current one in to get the better one for the better battery life.
Cause trade up.
I play mine on. Yeah, I play mine on the go all the time,
okay.
And I mean, I have everything. I have everything's on my SD card already, so I can just pop it out, pop it in, good to go.
Yeah,
If I could do that, I'd probably do that.
All right, Ben. I'm not sure if you switched to your onboard mic again or what, but you're sounding pretty far away.
Right here.
You sound very far away.
Yeah. But, well, that's it for our Switch news. We'll see how it turns out. I'll definitely have a lot to talk about when the Switch Lite comes out because I'm going to buy the yellow one, and I think I'm going to buy Jillian the turquoise one. So
get Jillian the turquoise one.
So yeah, super
and then
super
get
psyched for
Tim
that.
the gray one.
No, I'm not going to buy Tim a Switch Lite.
But he deserves it.
I'm waiting for the orange one to come out when it
Oh
does.
God, Spice Orange. I would buy that in a
Yep.
heartbeat.
I hope that they come out with a berry colored one.
A bear.
Oh, red pink. Yes, I like it.
I feel like it's such a, again, missed opportunity to not make this atomic purple.
Yeah.
And
But
also
they made a Joy-Con that's atomic purple.
no, they didn't.
Oh,
No.
fine.
Atomic purple is the translucent purple.
Oh, well. That's what color my Game Boy is.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the white buttons look like shit. Let's just get that in there before we're done.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Well, you could just always take it apart and change them.
This is true.
I will probably try and do a button mod on this one. But we'll see. We'll see how complicated it is.
What were they thinking?
Yeah. So, moving on to the topic of the show.
Topic of the show.
Topic of the
Nice.
show?
Topic of the show.
All right.
Nice. All right, our topic of the show. If you could wipe one game from memory and play it for the first time again, what game would you choose? And before we like really start getting into games, I wanted to discuss the rules with you guys and kind of come up with the rules together. Should we be forced to play these games in a modern setting? Should we be forced to play them with modern sensibilities? Or do you guys want to make believe that we have a time machine and travel back to when these games were current?
I want to say when games were current because not all mechanics age well.
Okay. Ben?
Yeah, look at Half-Life.
Yeah, that's the one that made me think about it. Was like Half-Life 2 at the time was jaw-dropping. Now, not as good.
Exactly.
The first game, too.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, the first game, Ben, you're right. The first game is probably a better example of that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we'll pretend we have a DeLorean and we can make it to 88. So
But wait, but that wouldn't. Well, I guess that, and then we have a memory wiper.
yeah, the thing from Men in Black.
But it can specifically wipe one memory.
Yeah, just one.
All
So we're playing a nice fun make believe game. How are you guys gonna choose this? Like, is there one game that are you just gonna go with your all time favorite game, or is there something you're kind of looking for in an experience?
I'm not going to go with my all-time favorite game because I've already played it twice and I enjoyed it thoroughly both times, and I'd probably play it again
Okay.
pretty soon, on maybe even on the Xbox One X, because then it's another step up in the graphics, and I've played it each time it's stepped up in graphics a little bit.
Is
So
this
maybe
Red Dead Redemption 2?
no, it's GTA 5. I'm playing
Ah.
Red Dead Redemption 2 for the second time on the Xbox One X.
Okay.
I've also played Red Dead twice. But those games I find very replayable because they feel different, even though they still have similar story beats. I think I'd be more inclined to do something like the God of War that came out last year.
Oh, see, that one crossed my mind for sure, because that was a really, really good game. And that moment where Kratos says, like, I think that it's trying to recapture some of those moments that were like really like, oh my God. Like the moment where Kratos says, like, that I must return home, dig up a past I swore would remain buried. It's like, oh, he's going to go get the Blades of Chaos. And then you step outside the door and you just wreck shit with the Blades of Chaos. It was just one of the most satisfying moments I've ever had in a video game.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So you're not just going to pick your favorite. Are you going to pursue anything specific like those moments, or are you going to pursue something like a story? Or, and Tim, feel free to jump in too.
Yeah, so I'm again not going with my favorite game of all time. I've played that game 1,000 times, and I wouldn't want to.
Star Fox 64.
Exactly, I wouldn't want to try and learn that all again. No thanks.
Yeah, that's another interesting aspect is like you would have a lot to learn about your favorite game.
Yep.
So what would you guys go for then? What are you guys looking for in choosing this one game that you get to wipe away?
For me, it's gonna be an epic story, something
Yeah.
that has stuck with me for the longest time, and it's a game that it's like I can't feel like going back to anymore, but really wish that I could.
Yeah, I think so. I think I agree with you guys for the most part. I think another thing that I really take into account is an atmosphere. Because like there have been stories with incredible moments like God of War, like we just talked about. And my immediate thought when I'm thinking about this question is BioShock Infinite, because the way BioShock Infinite ends, I was just like, what? And it was just this amazing thing. But then I think about like the atmosphere of Alien Isolation was just so incredible, and it just had me so tense for hours and hours on that game.
Yeah, I don't think that I don't know. I mean, it's hard for me to like I guess I haven't played Half-Life 2 all the way through, but I really enjoyed the first one. But I don't know if I'd really want to go back and play that again. Whereas I did think that the like storytelling in I'm kind of leaning towards God of War, just because I thought that the storytelling was spot on. It was just very, very like well done, and they just owned it.
So God of War 2018, because I know that probably another contender for you would be God of War or God of War 2 on the PS2, because you played the shit out of those games and like had an audience, and that was this really incredible experience for both of us.
Yeah, I mean, well, I did have like an audience. I don't think that I mean, I guess that like in my where I am in my mind right now, I don't think that I would find those games as cool right now as I did at that point in time.
Okay.
Whereas like the 2018 one is just cool as fuck.
Yeah. God of War 2018 was stunning.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ben, it sounds like you're leaning towards God of War. It sounds like that you're not. I'm not going to say totally set, but Tim, where's your mind at with this question?
So my game is quite a bit older, GameCube era, actually. I'm not going to reveal it yet because we're not there yet.
Is it Eternal Darkness?
No.
Oh, okay. That would have been a good one.
That is a good one. Don't get me wrong, but no.
Okay.
For me, I've sunk over 1,000 hours into this game, and it's one of those that I played so much with my brother as a kid. I'd like to go back and do that again because it's probably one of my favorite games of all time. It's definitely not my absolute favorite, but it's one of those that I've just been with so much that it's just like, okay, I can't, like every time I try to pick it up, I can't play it for more than 10 minutes being like, all right, I remember all of this still. Like I'm waiting for it to get out of my mind before going back to play it, which I don't think is ever going to happen, which is really sad.
Okay. All right. God, you guys have me really rethinking my answer because I was pretty dead set on BioShock Infinite. But Ben, you're picking one that's much more new, and that's like such a good game. Like it was my game of the year in 2018, and then even after playing Red Dead Redemption 2 and sobbing, like crying harder than I've ever cried in a video game, I still think God of War was my game of the year last year. God. I don't know. I guess because BioShock Infinite, getting to the end and realizing the story and realizing what story you just experienced, those games with that gigantic like Shyamalan level twist they're really few and far between because it does require really good writing. But then for me, there is also just the factor of like joy, just movement in a game can just be joyous. So the one that jumps to mind for me is Spider-Man 2018. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like I swung around on the webs for 5 minutes and I called my friend Sam, who's a big Spider-Man fan, and I said, Sam, you absolutely have to buy this game. It's unbelievable. So
Spider-Man.
And then of course, coming back to that does also take me back to Spider-Man 2 on the PlayStation 2. Like, Spider-Man 2 was awesome.
It was the best Spider-Man game for the longest time.
Yeah, until Spider-Man 2018.
Yep.
To Spider-Man or not to Spider-Man.
But then also like Owlboy was fantastic. I don't know. I'm gonna go with
Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 2.
Resident Evil 7 over 2 for sure. That's like going back to the kind of atmosphere thing. 7
Super Mario 64.
Ooh, nah, not for me. I mean, great game. Don't get me
Zelda.
wrong. No. So I was gonna say, Ben, I think you've got me convinced on the story being the most important thing, and if that's the case, I gotta go with something story based.
The Last of Us.
Last of Us is something that Jillian mentioned. She was like, "You loved the Last of Us story," so. But Ben, what is yours?
Half-Life 2 for you?
So no, Ben.
Halo.
If you're picking one, are you going God of War?
Halo. You're going with Halo.
I'm not actually.
You're going with.
You're gonna be annoyed. You're gonna be annoyed, and you're just gonna keep guessing until I tell you. Ben, if you're picking one, what's it gonna be?
Recency bias probably influences this, but God of War 2018.
Yeah. I mean, there's no recency bias is a thing, but Jesus, I think that game is like, we'll look at that game in 10 years and we'll say that was a fucking game.
Yep. Agreed.
So I can't shame you for that at all. That's a hell of a pick. Tim?
So my game is going to be Tales of Symphonia.
Tales of Symphonia.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. I've never played that game.
It's such a good game. It's definitely my favorite RPG I've ever played. Probably the one that got me into RPGs, because I don't think I played Final Fantasy VII until after I had played that one. But yeah, I've put in over 1,000 hours in that game. I've memorized absolutely everything about it, and I really wish I could wipe it from my memory, because I absolutely love that game to death, and I know I just can't enjoy it the way I used to because I know everything. There's no surprise anymore. It's just, oh, go do this, go do this, go do this, and that's all there is to it, which is kind of sad, but
yeah,
I really wish I could just go back and do it all over again.
All right.
Because it was that great.
It being such a thing with your brother too, I'm sure is
absolutely
just a huge contributor to that. Wow. Yeah, it's tough to like not have that bias with those games that you really like treasure when you were a kid or whatnot. Like GoldenEye, I had to think about because of how much time I spent playing GoldenEye with my sister and Chris and Drew Schroeder, like, damn. But it's a good choice, Tim. It's a good choice. Ben, you convinced me on story. You convinced me that story is the most important thing. And BioShock Infinite is a great story, and it has that moment at the end. But there were a few moments in that game that really made the game. But the entire, it didn't keep it. It was a few really hard spikes throughout the entire game, but it didn't keep up it didn't maintain the level of storytelling that I really would love. And so if I could wipe one game and play it again for the first time, it would be Metal Gear Solid 3.
It's a good choice.
Oh my god.
Very good choice. Snake Eater is one of the better of the entire series.
Snake Eater is the best of the entire series.
And you get to eat snakes.
You do actually literally get to eat snakes.
Yep.
They couldn't call it Snake Eater if you didn't eat snakes.
Well, that's what I've heard, and that's why the Bond movies are all called things like Die Another Day, right? Tomorrow Never Dies.
Goldfinger.
Exactly.
Octopussy.
Skyfall.
Doctor No.
They all make sense. But no, I would have to go with
Casino Royale.
Yeah, I would have to go
God.
with Metal Gear Solid 3 just because it was just the story in that game was just so incredible and so intricate and so detailed, so well thought out, and it made me fall in love with this character that I knew was going to be the villain ultimately.
From Russia with Love.
And it made me wonder
I
about
wish.
how they were going to make me hate this character that I loved so dearly after this game.
Dr. No.
Tim already said that one.
I did.
Oh, I didn't hear him.
All right. Well, that means it's time.
In Her Majesty's Secret Service.
It's time for the weekly trivia challenge.
Trivia!
Made us wait for it.
I forgot about it for a second.
All right. So, again, a reminder. Ben, you have to let Tim answer this first because I want it to be a challenge for whoever it can be a challenge for, and it's a layup for you.
All right.
In Red Dead Redemption, who is the leader of the gang that former member John Marston must bring to justice? Is it A, Dutch Vanderland, B, Javier Escuela, C, Bill Williamson, or D, Trevor Phillips?
Well, I know two of them aren't right. I'm going to go with A, Dutch.
All right, Ben?
It is definitely Dutch.
All right. So you guys each get a point. Ben, that takes you up to 9. Tim, second place with 6.
Woo!
Pretty respectable. And
I was hoping that Tim would say Trevor Phillips.
I heard that and I was like, that's GTA. That's not right.
it is GTA. And Javier and Bill are 2 gang members that you hunt down throughout the majority of the game. But ultimately, the gang leader is Dutch. So that's all we've got for you tonight. If you liked what you heard, make sure to subscribe on whatever platform you found us on. Don't forget to check out everything we do, including our movies podcast, No Refunds, the podcast that watches bad movies so you don't have to. All in one spot over at coldnorthpro.com. We'll be back next week for our 100th episode special, so make sure to stop in. Until then, reset.
Reset.
We're special.
Wheel.